everybody, and welcome to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2022. This is the sort of reboot of the Modern Warfare series. And this game was developed by Infinity Ward and published by Activision. Today, we're going to look at a few sort of smaller maps, the gunfight maps, which are like a 2v2 game mode. And we're going to wander around, explore, take in their details, appreciate their design and such. So, even if you are not a fan of this game, I hope you can enjoy as we appreciate the map design. I have never actually played this game. I played the first installment in the rebooting of the Modern Warfare franchise, which came out in 2019, I believe. And it was around that time that I had kind of been falling off Call of Duty. So when this one came out, I just didn't really have the interest or time to dive into it. Oops, that's my melee. I normally use the tactical control scheme, but I forgot to change that. So I'll have to remember to press B to crouch here. We have a bunch of boxes of bananas, or, well, supposedly boxes of bananas. Of course, they are filled with something very different. Product bananas, variety, Tabasco, class, extra. Their country of origin is Mexico. We can see the actual substance being transported in these banana boxes here. And, sorry, this is kind of funny. The idea that the cartel is branding their drugs like that. Las Almas Cartel. They've got a whole logo and everything. Is that real? Sorry, are the cartels really like stamping their kilos of cocaine or whatever with their little, brand of excellence? But who knows? Maybe they are. I'm not an expert in the cartels. We have a little scale here. Lab scale, max 3,000 grams. That doesn't seem, surely that was way more than 3,000 grams. Maybe not, maybe not. So this map is currently confiscating all of the drugs. So they're all getting stuffed into boxes. What does the government do when it confiscates drugs? What does it do with the drugs? Does it just burn them? So this map, Shipment, is it's a remake of a very classic map in Modern Warfare history. Shipment has been a mainstay of the franchise. I'm not sure if it's been remade in literally every Modern Warfare game, but it sort of feels like it has been. And it has sort of taken on different aesthetics. The setting of the map has changed very often. So this time, instead of the usual setting of a sort of a port side container storage area, we are on a container ship. A sign here instructing us how to use a life jacket. Life jacket, safety instructions. Place a life jacket over your head. Pull the strap around your body and fasten closure. Ensure it's not fit by adjusting the free end of the strap. And when entering the water, cross your arms over your chest and enter feet first. And then we got a bunch of text down here. In case of emergency, your life jacket contains both light and whistle to attract yada yada yada. We will hopefully not be needing these instructions. I don't think we're going to need to put on the life jacket, but the jacket to activate the light. Stoppers. Cloud battery to fill with water. The battery should start to operate within 1 to 3 minutes. Then 1 to 3 minutes. So can continue to wander around the boat. This kind of reminds me of Wet Work, the first main mission in the first Modern Warfare game, which also served as the basis for a pretty good multiplayer map. In that one, you're also on a big container ship under stormy skies, rain pouring down, 6 high stacking only, gross weight 7,000 pounds, payload 51,000 pounds, air weight, and we have a variety of different container brands here. Rohan, Riders of Rohan. It's actually interesting, there's some oil rigs off in the distance, so we must be somewhat close to shore. Actually, how far? Yeah, I mean, oil rigs aren't like insanely far out in the ocean, right? Got a lot of footprints around here. Some more banana boxes. Doesn't seem like they were transporting any bananas at all. I have not found a single real banana. They gotta take some advice from Gus Fring on how to smuggle drugs. And the oil rigs off in the distance there. The burn off spout at the top is very striking. See, we have another poster here. Let's see what this one says. Gangways safe use and practice. Okay, this one's kind of hard to read. Each stitch must be locked into position. This part of the gangway is kind of, text is a little small for me. Just giving you some safety instructions for when and how to use the gangway. Okay, each stitch must be locked in place. Gangway must be adequately illuminated from both the ship and the shore. Turn up the brightness on my display so I could actually read this better. The gangway must not exceed a safe working capacity. Apparently, 3 people in the gangway is too much. The gangway must not be used during adverse weather conditions. You ever see those videos of, huge ships sailing through, like, the North Sea or whatever? The gangway must not be used on uneven quaysides. Those videos are insane. The gangway must not be attached to any unsuitable structures such as guardrails. Yeah, dude, working on the ocean is insane. It would be terrifying. Or the really stormy seas, I cannot imagine. But, you know me. I'm a little scared of the ocean, so it would be a particularly bad job for me, but oh man, just the power of the sea. It's wild. Alright. So, some more boxes here. These are no longer banana boxes. Seems to be toys, stuffed animals. Some giraffe stuffed animals here. And, yep, as I suspected, they are smuggling bricks inside the stuffed animals. I wonder, clearly in the middle of the drug bust here, they were confiscating all the drugs. I wonder what happened that all of the agents suddenly vanished. There's nobody here except for us. We have a big elephant stuffed animal here with its legs ripped off. joyous toys, joyous toys. And out here, anything different? Oh yeah, there's money here, a lot of money being transported as well. Couldn't say what country that comes from. Probably one of the fictional countries that this franchise has been using in their games. Looks like we've got the border protection boats out there. No doubt they came out here and boarded the ship. There are red and blue lights flashing off in the distance. The boats swaying on the stormy sea. Over here, see, we have a little switch here, lever to turn on or off the lights in this shipping container. Is this common for shipping containers on shipping boats like this to have light fixtures installed in them? I would imagine not. Do any of you work in ocean shipping logistics? Can't imagine that very many crates are going along wired up like that, but I guess on the cartel boat maybe things are a little different. I love the sea spray catching in the lights of the ships. It looks very nice. Over here we have, strangely enough, a different lighting setup. The same box, but this time attached to two bulbs rather than that single longer fluorescent bulb. Water dripping down off the crate. And here we are, back where we started. So, let's come off to the edge of the boat here, look off at the oil rigs, and let's move on to our next map to explore. Our next map. This map is called Exhibit. It is a museum in Mexico, I believe. Up on the hill we have a pretty interesting looking building. Looks like it could be another museum or something like that. An art gallery. And sort of a sprawling community spread out across the tops of this sort of mountainous region here. We have some windmills here in the valley, generating some power for the surrounding community. This is a pretty cool area. Lots of beautiful views of the misty valley down there, and up here it looks like, I think these might be swallows. have those kind of forked tail feathers. And I'm no ornithologist, but I think swallows have forked tail feathers like that, so that's my best guess. Let me know if you have an alternate idea. So, here is the museum proper, and there's a fair amount of Spanish around here, I believe, so I will do my best. Probably not read too much of that because I do not speak it. I like this statue. This woman in a long robe, holding some flowers in the crook of her arm. Mexicanidad. Popular Mexican art, I think. Something like that. If the cognates are not leading me astray. Trash can there, like how somebody put the empty plastic water bottle on top of the trash can. I didn't bother to actually put it inside. Guys, don't be litter bugs, by the way, okay? Do not litter. It's very random, but every time I'm driving around and I just see garbage on the side of the road, it always boggles my mind. I think people who litter are just, it's shameful in my opinion. So here we have a painting, a woman standing in a sort of arcade area, it looks like, with those arches on either side, holding a baby. Prohibido tocar, not touching the artwork. I was just at a museum the other day with a friend of mine. She has a 2-year-old son. He was running through the museum and we were sprinting after him so that he didn't touch anything. He was a little goblin. Map of Mexico. Pacific Ocean. The Gulf of Mexico on the map. Apparently, they didn't get the memo. Alright, we have some pots here with some cool carvings on them. Earthenware vessels, various sizes of shapes of glazed and unglazed earthenware or terracotta pottery. Okay, it's not the worst work. Temporarily, this is very blurry. Work temporarily on loan from the Albagra Fortress Museum of the Citadel. Albagra, I know, is another map. There's a fortress map. So maybe another time, if we revisit this game, we can check out Albagra and see what this museum is taking on loan from there. This is a cool painting. Some birds of paradise on a flower vase, flower pot, some slices of watermelon. Bird of paradise. Colorful painting of a bird of paradise, accompanied by assorted fruits and flowers. Assorted fruits and flowers. some ferns behind it. Bird of paradise, color full painted of bird of paradise, sorted fruits. Okay, so no change there, no change. Same placard, the same placard. Okay, you have a statue here. Mikte Kakikwat. Mikte Kakikwat. An intricate stone statue of Mikte Kakikwat, goddess of death and ruler of her Mink clan, domain of the underworld in Aztec mythology. Rituals surrounding the simple figure survived to this day in the Dias de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. It's pretty cool. I read a book about the Aztecs, and there was a pronunciation guide, but some time ago, I do believe that you don't pronounce the L's, like, no, you know, Nahuatl or whatever. You don't sort of hit the L super hard, but could be wrong. Mictlantecuhtli, fragmented disc depicting Mictlantecuhtli, lord of the underworld, god of the dead in Nahuatl, Aztec, Zapotec, and Mixtec mythology, and husband of Micte Kakikwat. That's cool. I like that. This circular tablet with that face in the middle. Here we have a censer in the shape of a figure, an ornate Mayan censer used to burn copal incense during important rituals. Sometimes these censers were used as offerings that either buried or incorporated into the walls of significant buildings. The figure is dressed as a ruler and seated in a position signifying authority. This is a cool map to explore because it's kind of like we're just walking through a museum. Although I have no idea how accurate this stuff is. It feels like they put effort into it. Earthenware vessels. Here we have jade mask. A mask of carved jade stone. These funerary masks were used to cover the faces of great Mayan rulers, preserving their image through the centuries, preserving their image through the centuries. That's cool. I like the earrings. It's kind of putting an idea in my mind as we're wandering through this. I can think of a couple of like museums in games. BioShock, one of the Ratchet and Clank games. Here we have all the cucumbers on head, stone building, roller sculpted from a large basalt boulder. Each of these methods depicts the characteristics and address of an individual, offering a testament to the durability of their own lineage. But it could be fun to walk through a game museum, take in the exhibits. I feel like this. Well, I don't know. Especially the contemporary art here. I wonder if they got it from like a specific artist or something. If they commissioned it or if it already existed. Earthenware vessels. These are not earthenware vessels. Maybe this one is. a fragment of it at least. More earthenware vessels, apparently, but not really. Those look like decorative stone carvings. Aztec sunstone, a large rock disc of olivine basalt covered with inscriptions depicting elements of the Mexican cosmogony and solar cults. At the center of the disc is Tonatiuh, the solar god. Numerous other deities and eras are depicted in the surrounding concentric rings. So this is pretty good so far with the placards. Ceramic vase decorated with a painted mosaic pattern. No, that's not what we're looking at here. The vases on either side maybe, but they're not really painted with a mosaic. But if you compare this to the Call of Duty Ghost video that I did some time ago, one of the maps that we looked at was Stonehaven, I think it's called, the Scottish castle one, and there were some sort of museum educational placards on that map. This is cool. A diorama of the museum and the surrounding valley. On that map in Call of Duty Ghosts, the words on those placards made no sense. Like, the paragraphs that they had written there sort of designed to look like educational placards, but they were, insensible. So I was confused by that, with how much budget goes into these games. I know that their highest priority wouldn't be little details like that, but I don't quite understand how you get garbage like that. Wouldn't it be just as easy to just have somebody write the stuff? I mean, I don't know. It feels like it was written by a foreign language speaker, and then it was used, run through Google Translate or something. So, even though we've picked up on a couple flaws, inaccuracies here so far on this map's placards, overall, I think it's a big improvement from the stuff that we've seen before. So we have the medieval art exhibit over here. Here we have 18th century decorative art, a French hand-painted porcelain vessel and gift-mounted ormolu. It is flanked by two English Delft-ware vases with floral decorations. That is a lion. That is not either of those things. That's strange. Here we have a box. So that's not either of those things as well. And here's another lion head. Carved wooden box, an exquisitely carved wooden container dating back to the early 13th century. So I guess that could be the box in the center, but otherwise those placards make no sense. Bienvenidos. Okay. Here we have some suits of armor. Can get an audio guide for more information, but we don't have that. So here we have, I guess, a French soldier, a French knight, Alpagra fortress, and then a soldier, looks like maybe an Ottoman soldier. Pretty cool. This is a scimitar. They've got curved swords. Curved swords. Okay, medieval kite shield. A wooden French kite shield decorated with painted fleur-de-lis. Given the nature of the material, the painted color are very well preserved. So, it's that big shield lying on the table there. We have a round shield here. Looks like made of iron, maybe. And some swords and some maces. Medieval arms and armor. Ottoman round shield. Ottoman kilji, maybe. Not kilj. French kite shield decorated with fleur-de-lis. French heavy lance. Okay, well, there's no lance here, but the fleur-de-lis shield is definitely there. Various medieval arms and armor from both Europe and almost reached in period 1150 CE to 1460 CE. It's kind of funny, as in just thinking about this, and I haven't played these modern Call of Duty games, so forgive me if I'm wrong about anything, but they've I know that they've been inventing these countries. Is Al-Mazrah one of them? They've invented, I guess, this maybe sort of Middle Eastern country. They've invented Urzikstan, I believe is one. The siege of Alpagra fortress. Established depiction of the fall of Alpagra fortress in the 15th century. The architecture like that doesn't match the original Norman design. The scene gives good indication of the forces amassed against the defenders. Which I think they're doing, I don't know, because they don't want to make any enemies, I suppose. They want their product to be as universally sellable as possible. But it's funny, the countries that they choose to invent new ones for and the ones that they don't. I mean, all the characters are still British and American, right? Architectural miniature, decorative miniature painting depicting traditional architecture found in Al-Mazrah. They wouldn't design a fake America, right? I mean, I don't know what countries they've invented. Again, I haven't played the games. I played the first one a while back, but they've invented a fake, Iran or something, whatever stand-in it's supposed to be. But they would never invent a fake America, Various medieval helms, Italo-Norman conical helmet, Ottoman turban helmet with Aventail, and a French great helm. And I guess the obvious explanation for that is that, the American characters and the British characters are supposed to be heroes, right? They're supposed to be the good guys. So, I mean, I guess in Modern Warfare 2, assuming that they're following the plot of the original somewhat, or, the beats of the characters at least. General Shepard is obviously an American who becomes the villain in the game. moving target. But yeah, I don't really know what to make of that, but it just pumped into my mind. It's kind of a funny thing. They tie themselves in knots, creating these fictional countries that you can go like gallivanting around in and, kill people at will. But then the whole time it's like, but also you're from America, It's a weird middle ground. But the Call of Duty storylines they're a strange thing. Sometimes it feels like they're like embarrassed about the inherent sort of jingoism that exists in the Call of Duty campaigns, and so they try to cover it up in some way. They're like, yeah, we really want to make, we love like American militarism. We love using the cool toys. We love the drones and the bombs and the guns and all that stuff. It's so cool, right? Spec Ops, it's so cool. Task Force 141, it's all dope, right? But then, as these companies have become more and more, I don't know if it's just that they became more international or the cultural context has changed such that they are now nervous about pissing off some markets or offending some markets. They suddenly start kind of blushing about the implications of using that American military hardware. And they're like, oh, but so actually, we all think using American military stuff is really cool, but we don't want to piss off our, Russian audience, or whatever, right, or our Chinese audience, or this or that audience. You don't want anybody to be mad about the campaign, right? So they kind of create these fictional countries. But the other thing I've noticed is they're often fighting like PMCs now, right? Again, I haven't kept up with the modern Call of Duty stuff super well, but I think a lot of the campaigns, like the villains are like a private military corporation, like what's that pretty famous one that was like in Iraq? Blackwater, right? I think so. Anyway, I've seen that it seems like they're making those the enemies a lot now, because they're trying to sort of create targets that everybody can happily kill, right? And no market is going to be bothered by going after some fictional PMC. And of course, they're not going to pick like, you're not hunting down Yevgeny Prigozhin, right? Yeah, but so they're inventing new ones, not using actual existing PMCs, because even that would still be too controversial. So it's interesting. I don't know. I don't really have like a point there or a conclusion there. It's just it's an interesting change I've observed from when I was playing Call of Duty as a kid, and the enemies, even in those, the main bad guys tended to be like, well, it was a funny thing, because you often have something like Makarov, where Makarov instigates a war between Russia and America, but the game portrays it like kind of like Russia was, he is as much a victim as the United States in some ways, because Makarov tricked both sides, right? But it's still, it still is like Russia invading the U.S. and you have all those missions where you're taking back the U.S., fighting in the Burger Town and all that. So I won't belabor this point. It's just interesting how they're inventing these countries. I don't know, yeah. Just an observation. Here we have a map of Albagra Fortress. Coastal residences, parking, ticket booths, main gate, courtyard, cistern, blacksmith, barracks, arch, trading yard, main hall, dome, prison, stables, munitions, gallows, secondary gate, gun emplacements, fishing port. Have a map of it here. Yeah, it'll be fun. If we come back to this game at some point to go visit Albagra in person. We have another helmet display here. This is a very cool helmet design. It's very iconic, and I just think it's so cool. Looks very nice. The Ottoman Palace. I ain't reading all that. So we have what looks like another big statue here, covered up in cloth. I'm noticing a lot of rendering, like pop-in the distance, not so much here, but when I was looking out back over the upper area of the museum, interesting. White traffic cone. Oh, even here, oh yeah, all those like concrete slabs just popped in there. Wonder, not optimized or something, I don't know, that's weird. I wouldn't expect that from a 2022 game. This garden is dedicated in grateful appreciation to Kafo as well as the blah blah blah. Alright, well, I think that will be the end of our trip to Exhibit. We can end where we began, looking out over the beautiful misty valley, the waterfall rolling down. And we will travel now to Penthouse. This is a very fancy, luxurious penthouse apartment here on top of a city high-rise. There is a pool, a little bit of a sort of Art Deco vibe to the architecture of this building. We have a sort of natural themed area here, a rock, a tree, big sort of bonsai tree here. Oh man, at my friend's wedding reception a while back, they held it in, like a greenhouse, and there were plants for sale. And I went and looked at the bonsai trees, Holy hell. They were going for like $7,000, $8,000. I was like, damn, they look cool, but that is a stiff price, a very stiff price. The YouTube channel is gonna have to do a lot better than it is now. If I ever want to get a bonsai tree. I mean, I know you can get like smaller. These were pretty sizable bonsais. You know, the size of like kind of a large garden pot. Not something that you would just put on your table or your desk. My stomach is rumbling. I think I'm gonna go make some pasta after this. How do you say it? Are you a pasta person or a pasta person? Pasta or pasta? Pasta or pasta? Pasta or pasta? This is a really cool piece here on the wall. This kind of inset rock. I love the patterning of it. I don't really vibe with the design of this area in general. It's a little too, I don't know, sterile, I guess. It just doesn't really feel, it feels lifeless, it feels over-designed, but that rock piece on the wall I think is really cool looking. We have a lot of money scattered around here. The safe is empty. We have a boat here. I wonder if that is that like the caravel model from the exhibit map that we were just looking at? Big angry looking dude here. Over here we have a bust of a horse with a golden mane. And then a little classical statuette here. A gentleman in his robe holding something. I can't really tell what that is. It just looks like a blob. So let's continue to explore the bed. We have some more assets that I think we used in the exhibit map. I definitely recognize that shield. Those are probably the same scimitars as well. Over here we have another pretty cool piece. Columnar basalt, it looks like. The stairs are blocked off by a very strange pile-up of furniture. Sorry, that's funny. That's just like, how did that all end up there like that? Looks like some granite panels here. And then you can step outside here. Look out over the pool. Very nice view. You know, if you like looking at buildings. So we can go back inside. There's a weird, I don't know, I don't like the design of this place. The exterior seems kind of traditional Art Deco in a lot of ways, and then you come inside and it's a weird, sort of more modern design philosophy that I don't click with. And then you have stuff like, you know, those historical artifacts hanging on the walls and all that. I don't find it cohesive or welcoming. But, you know, I'm not an interior designer, so what do I know? Oh, I recognize this lion. You were in the exhibit map as well. Mislabeled as like a porcelain vase, I think. In a golden elevator. It's very tacky. We have, the elevator doors ajar. It's full of, like, bags and gas masks. Seems, something was going down here. We're on the 42nd floor, it looks like. Not to be too Reddit, but, you know, the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. We have a little, wine area here. Wine storage area. And here we have an exercise room. A little, home gym. With a bike on the wall. It's funny to imagine grabbing your bike and riding the elevator down 42 floors just so you can go for a ride. We have a TV on the wall. This says Princess Starfish 2, The Return to the Throne. Princess Starfish 2, The Return to the Throne, not capitalized. Shameful. Excessive Cake, Season 4, Episode 1, Most Expensive Cake, Glorious Kitchen Challenge, All Access Cover Story, World's Worst Celebrity Mishaps, Red Carpet Edition, 8 seasons, 21 episodes, oh my god. Operation Saber 3. Okay, we have another rock display here. There's clearly an intentional design, a theme throughout this penthouse. Having these various rock faces installed, which is kind of cool. I like that element. Even if I don't think it sort of coheres with the rest of the penthouse. Some black and white photography there. Yeah, I mean, it's like this weird, like, you know, you've got all those rock faces, and then you had some kind of impressionist art or something, or modern art, and then you've got these like Ansel Adams photographs up on the wall. You've got the Art Deco exterior and the doors. It just, I don't like it. I don't like it. But, that's fine, you know. I don't have the money to pay for it, so they don't have to design it to my tastes. We have a fireplace here with a lot of wood below. I'm surprised. Well, I think that wood might actually be for decoration too, because I can't imagine that fireplace is actually wood burning. So, back out to the pool. You can look out at the city. There's a little outdoor bar area over here. I think we'll forego looking at that closer, but there's a grill, looks like some beer taps, some juice dispensers or some sort of drink dispensers over there. Alright, well, think that about covers our trip to Modern Warfare 2 2022 today. So, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time for whatever we check out next. Until then, my friends,